my gosh. Everybody, Kamilla Kowal is here. Finally.
I'm so happy.
We're all so excited. It's so good to see you. I know it's like virtual, but it's just so good to see your face. Oh my gosh.
I've been excited to see your faces, but I have to say you guys have really good voices for podcasts. You guys have very good voices. They work well together. I can't listen to a lot of podcasts because of voices.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
A lot of them are quite, hey, welcome to the podcast.
That's my fear. Radio. That's my fear that I have. Well, I know I have vocal fry and I can hear it in certain episodes where I'm like a bit tired.
Much.
No, I don't think
I do.
Voice. Your voice sounds like Alana said it sounded like bubblegum once.
Yeah, very full-bodied.
That's really nice. You also don't have vocal fry, but I notice it. Like I'll hear certain episodes, like the one with Sarah Gadon when I was so sick. This is a little inside. I had a 102 fever and I was delusional. I don't remember the last 20 minutes of conversation.
Michelle texted me after the episode ended and she was like, and she sent me a picture of her thermometer and she was like, did I say anything weird? Cause I don't remember the last half hour.
You were fevered?
Oh, I was like on another planet fever.
Oh, 104, 105.
But I was like, we have a guest. I can't postpone. Like this guest has a baby, especially. Anyways, but
if
my
anything,
vocal
you were more
fry,
lucid and you were better than ever. Like I think you accessed a part of yourself that was quite dialed in.
Right. There's a lot of like when I watch that episode, there's a lot of me just like this. Like forgetting I'm on camera.
Listening, okay? You're just listening.
Subtle twitch.
Yeah, Jesus.
Where are you dialing in from? Tell us about where you are in the world.
Oh my God, I have shivers.
I'm dialing in, ring, 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 from downtown Toronto. I'm in the city, Evan.
Oh my God. Okay, I need the full, sorry everybody, this is going to be a catch up about me because I want to talk to Kamilla. Sorry, it just is. When did you move to Toronto? So the last I saw you in the flesh was obviously the final day of Letterkenny when
That's the last time you guys saw each other?
Yes.
Yes, and I was hysterically crying.
Me too.
In her arms. Anyways, we'll get into it. But yeah, but you were still living in Sudbury because you're a Sudbury local, or you were while we were filming the show. When did you move to Toronto?
So I think it's pretty general knowledge by now that I'm from Sudbury. And so for a lot of the people that will still message me and scour the city, I'm no longer there. Just general.
Oh God. Yikes. We'll get into it. We're going to get into it.
I grew up there. And when we started the show, I was still in high school. So, I ended up moving last year. So about, I would say like a year and a half after we'd wrapped.
It's amazing. Yeah. So you moved from like basically real life Letterkenny to the city. And now you are big city living. How different is that for you? Like what's the transition? How does it, give us the highs and lows, pros and cons.
I always felt like it's so different for you guys because you were coming from all over and having to like stick around and then buzz out. But for me, I always had to kind of buzz out and like flutter my wings in order to try to work. So it was just really, it was very different. I mean, Toronto's a walkable city. Sudbury is not. And I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. I mean, the lakes and the amazing green spaces and ability to go outside.
Which not a lot of people knew about who were working on the show coming from Toronto. Like, I feel like I had to tell everyone about, like, the park, like Kiwi Park and stuff. Nobody knew about it.
Wow. Well, I guess because you would assume it's not, if you're coming from Toronto, why would you assume to have that? But there is just so much space.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big difference. I will also say privacy is definitely very different. I think it's so much more private in a big city. Everyone's just doing what they have to do.
Interesting.
Yes, I totally agree.
Well, yeah, I would assume you would.
Everyone's in your business in Sudbury because you all know each other.
You would have no other kind of gauge to that because you've always been a Toronto boy.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely have. That's interesting. I never really thought about that, like seeing the exact same people every day.
There's such a freedom in being in a big city. Like, for example, you get to just wear that hat and nobody's going to do anything, say anything. It's not going to be hot goss on the town. Evan is wearing a Tilly style hat, and I think he wore it to impress Kamilla. So.
You know why I wore it? Yeah, I want her to know I'm a good country boy. No, I wore it because I found that when we're looking back at the episodes, it's so much easier for me to like make TikToks and stuff when I know what episode it is. And if we're wearing the same thing in every episode, I never know what episode it is. I know Camilla's here, but like now I have this silly hat. So I'll see the first screen of the episode is the silly hat.
It's the silly hat.
It's the silly hat episode.
Oh, for God's sake. Do you guys not own Tilly's?
You know what? It honestly, it looks good on you.
Shut up.
It does. It does.
First of all, shut up.
No, it looks
two,
good on you.
Do you not own a Tilly hat? It's so good for blocking sun. It goes all the way to the back. It snaps on the sides. And then you look like you're Australian.
And you even got a strap there.
I got a little strap.
It's not going to fall off.
I can pull it tight when I'm in the Jeep.
And that's really cool, that look.
Do I look really good now?
Yeah.
One up, one down?
Yeah, you look really good.
Alana loves this hat, for the record.
Let's move on. So back to the city life versus country life.
Yes.
When you were in Sudbury, obviously you're on this show. It must have been very weird. I mean, I'd love to take it back to you being in high school and being on a television show and what that I can't even imagine that
when
experience.
The show started.
What's that, Evan?
Were you in grade 11?
When we filmed season 1, I was in grade 11 because I was 16.
Okay.
Yes.
At least you were like, okay, I only have 2 years, or at least one full year where people are going to know about the show. Like, because it would have been released, I guess, in your 12th year?
Yes.
Okay.
But it really wasn't it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't really on anyone's radar. First season, I think I had like 1 or 2 days on set and I didn't think I was coming back.
But it wasn't like hot. Yeah, that's interesting. It wasn't like hot guys like, oh, Camilla, she's giving me on TV show.
No, I was already a really obnoxious, like delirious person. So they were like, that, okay.
Right.
You don't know where she's going, but sure. Right. But no one was really, it wasn't super into it. Also, I think because we had no idea like what exactly it was.
Right.
And especially for me, just kind of jumping in and being like, oh, this is so cool. I get to like work. That was my first union job.
Yeah. So you would have done like, I assume, dance, musical theater, stuff like that at school. No, you didn't do any of that?
I am a single hanging by a threat. And no, like
there's power in that. There's power in that.
Actor, period, no hyphenate.
I will say though, from you guys, and I've worked with other dancers since, and there's something to that fluidity and being in tune to your body that I really wish I possessed.
I assumed you were a dancer.
Yeah. That lines up for me.
I assumed you did hip hop or something.
No, I was really, really shy when I was younger. Like my mom couldn't even leave the school when she dropped me off. It was so bad. I was so attached.
What happened then? Why did you want to be an actor? When did this all change?
She started putting me into things. So one, she had to leave me somewhere and I had to be immersed in something like by a different guardian. Or a different adult. But then, I think I started with violin. And
you're not a singular threat. You play the violin. That's such a fancy instrument. Yeah.
Back then. So then I just kind of found something that I was interested in, and then it just kind of opened me up from there. So I just did a lot of, whatever was available in the city, like theater classes. There was an acting studio that had opened up, and then I would just kind of go to Toronto. My dad would take time off work. My parents would get in the car, and they'd drive me 4 hours to go into a room for 5 minutes.
For a commercial audition.
Yeah, baby girl.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's really sweet. And it feels like it was the opposite of stage parent nightmare stuff where they're forcing. They were just really supportive and like wanted to make sure you knew there were options and you could kind of try things. I had parents like that too. And it really does make all the difference because you don't feel the weird, like gross pressure, but you're also able to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I did soccer, like, even while we were filming, I was heavy into soccer.
You were an OFSA gal. I remember this.
Yes.
You were like playing serious soccer. You come to fucking work and you'd have like shin bruises.
Yes. I still have those. I stopped playing. I still got those. But no, actually, I think it was season 2 when I wrapped out. I had a broken toe, firstly, that I didn't tell anyone about because I wanted to be able to work.
Yeah,
and play soccer.
smart.
So my parents picked me up when we wrapped, and they would drive me out of town to a soccer tournament. So I still had my eggs in a lot of baskets. I still worked at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I just felt like I had to be normal and do the normal thing. And I continued doing that all throughout the show. So once I graduated, I stayed in Sudbury to go to university so I could film and go to school. And then I got like a normal 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, that was wild. I remember when you got a regular job and I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, because I just felt like I had to.
No, of course. And it's a very responsible, reasonable thing to do. Of course, as opposed to dropping everything and moving to Los Angeles or whatever, which is what other people do in your position, kind of.
And I think there was definitely an aspect of feeling like when you are, because I was still in Sudbury, when you are in Northern Ontario or you are somewhere, there's not a lot of options available or not as much happening for you. Obviously, we've seen that change. Like Letterkenny really blew a door open in terms of Sudbury and production. But now, like post-COVID, there's so many different factors now, but I really felt like I had to do the normal trajectory. And then I realized I just hated that and I didn't want to do that. But I think, again, going back to that ability to kind of just try things, like Michelle, like we were saying growing up, my parents also were really, really encouraging to take a year off or to try something else. And I think a big part of that was that anchor of the show, and see, because it was, everything else aside, my age, it was just such a unicorn what we all got to do. So
you're so positive. You're such like a light to talk to. What a joy, right?
I know. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Shut up.
So
nice.
I think that also was, I was really, really lucky with the group of people that surrounded me to begin and to kind of grow out that essence of, is this what I want to do? And so I think that was a really good cushion for my parents or, the support, and for myself to kind of say, I should just, like, what the hell? I'm still a baby.
Not
a lot of people book a job at 16 that lasts for another 10 years or whatever.
That's the thing too. To have something that then films at home for me to wake up in my own bed is crazy.
No, it's so good.
Yeah. And then for that to continue. So 16, when we wrapped, I was 24. Isn't that when you started, Michelle?
I started at 24. Yeah. It's crazy. Because we shot for 8 years.
When
that math. Yeah.
That
crazy.
Like that cyclical like age thing, that's when I realized like that's crazy.
That's trippy as hell.
And I think what you did so well, like as much as you may feel like, oh, I didn't love like getting a job and staying in my home city and going to school, you finished a gig when most of us started it. So no time wasted. In fact, you really like took advantage of this experience while also not neglecting other parts of your life. It's going to only make you a better like human being, obviously, but a better actor because you have other experiences as well. You didn't just tunnel vision and kind of lose all other normal human experiences, which is kind of a mistake that a lot of people make. Like it's not good for the brain.
I wanted to do that. And it was really my parents. And I think all of those other things I had happening, not allowing them to fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
You're a very well balanced person. And I feel like a lot of actors who start acting at 16 become nuts very quickly.
Yes.
For many reasons, but being so inundated with the industry and moving to a city like LA and being like, all that matters is celebrity or whatever it is. It's
or even if you had right away been like, fuck it, I'm going to Toronto.
Even Toronto would have fucked you up at 16 like, for sure. Yeah, it's true. 16 and alone in Toronto.
Well, it would have been 18. She has like parents.
Nope. But emancipation, out the fucking door. I'm on a TV show now.
Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, fuck all y'all.
I also think the combination, and we don't have to get into this, so, and also like anything that we say here, just so you know, it's edited. Connor is our editor. So anything, if you're like feeling whatever.
I wish
later.
I didn't tell everyone that I actually
hate
just Tyler Johnston. Yeah,
right, right. Anything, just so you know. But I think the added layer that you experience, that we all experience in different ways, sure, but because of your age, I think your instincts and your family's instincts to kind of keep a protection around you a little bit, as far as like, okay, we're going to like keep you at home. You're going to go to school. You're going to like have friends your own age. You're going to not be, because you were receiving so much kind of frankly weird ass attention. I think the fact that you were able to sort of stay away from that in your real life is really, thank God for that.
Like how many fucking dudes send you a message being like, come move to Miami. Like you would love Miami.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't really realize until I would say until I was about like 20, 21. So at this point, we're like halfway through our journey. When I started hearing that I was more attractive in season 1.
No.
Yes,
No.
And
No.
I just grew up, you know, like I was a kid.
You were a baby with
That
a
says a
baby
lot
face.
about those people and nothing about you.
And nothing about you.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I think there was like, and I was also aged up, which is just such a weird
concept in general.
No, that never happens, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we're constantly like trying to squish ourselves back to like 18. If
You
we
were
can.
one of the rare gems in like there were decent actors in Sudbury that we found for sure. Like there were people in there who were like where the fuck did you come from? But you are like the crown jewel of people who are found in Northern Ontario. Like,
we were
where the
so
fuck did you come
lucky
from?
to have you. We were
Yeah.
so, and we've kind of, because we've been going back and watching these seasons.
You're so good. You're so
You're, like,
funny,
and-
so young.
Exactly, like your presence, and you're not playing into anything. You just are being this as the character, and it's really interesting to see and really impressive. I don't know if you've gone back to watch it, but
really
it's just
good. You
it's
should
like
watch
we've
your
been
stuff.
watching it with such like fresh eyes, and it's crazy to think about you being so young and coming into a set with people that are markedly older and, for the most part, more experience, and the way you kind of hold your own is really impressive. But anyways, back to what you were saying. So you were 21, you kind of clocked into this weird zeitgeist.
Yeah, and I think that was when I realized, because even when I was in the motions of it for the first couple of years, I didn't have a sexualized connotation to my character.
That's amazing, though. That's exactly
really
why it probably worked as
Yeah, and I think I just leaned into, and yes, there was, you know, like the costume, you know, like the Halloween and all of that. But to me, that was just so much more fun and more of this kind of like verve of life and of expression. And then
Totally.
yeah, I think it was when I really started to become an actual legal adult that I kind of saw that mesh. But I will say I've never gotten anything too forward, too aggressive. I really haven't. I mean, things that, you know, maybe are boundary crossing as like, you know, like I'm not going to dox myself, but nothing too icky gross. Truly.
Okay,
especially
like
in
as
person, right?
like nothing in person, right?
No.
Yeah,
Okay, well
people
that's
great.
People hide behind their creepy ass little computers in their basements,
I will
as we've
say
discussed.
The
But
times when I did have something in person to do, and it was like through Bell Media, they had, you know, obviously there's security.
Armed guards.
yeah, armed guards,
Yeah,
machine
They had
guns.
me standing there.
Well, Evan was there. He was wearing the hat, so everybody knew what was up, and it was not gonna happen. Okay, well that makes me feel good, and I know that all women, all girls, kind of in media, especially now with social media, there's like this direct access to us in a different way that we all have to deal with. I'm just wanting to like kind of recognize that you were so young and you were kind of put in this position. And I think, thank God, you were again sort of sheltered, or it took a while for you to clue in. I think that probably saved just your own self-perception and kept the work also pure, because you always kept the work pure. You didn't play into any tropes or seemingly let it get to your head. I don't know if you want to like speak more to that. Like, were there things that happened later that kind of infiltrated a bit more? Because for me, they definitely did.
Yeah.
I became more aware of like, I mean, God, we were compared to each other like every day online. Same with, you know, Dio, same with Rosie, Mel, like we were all compared. You and I were compared a lot in a really frustrating way that I always was like, because I feel so protective of you. I just found that like it probably enraged me more than it enraged you, where I was like, can everyone just leave her the fuck alone online, and also in turn leave me alone too? Like,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing to navigate, and also try to navigate it with grace and humility and gratitude for the work and the project and the exposure, I guess. But yeah, I found it difficult, so I can only imagine like how you.
I think there, like, a dichotomy became a bit more apparent as we went on. And I think, you know, a big part of that is a lot of that court of public opinion that comes in. So the comparison thing, it was super weird too, because
And also, yeah.
it's just funny, I think, because you learn a lot about people and like that essence of parasocial relationships. Because that idea of what you see on camera being so real and so true to who you are, I think really is what sort of seeped in. Yeah, I'd say like looking back, there were times where I probably like was very aware that I wasn't wearing a lot of clothes.
Right.
You know, in that moment. And I was surrounded by like 60 people. And that just can happen. You just become aware of your body. And so, you know, sometimes I would take the 2 minutes to like put a robe on.
Girl.
Yeah.
Michelle lived in a robe.
Exactly. I mean, you got for like 2 minutes at the end, but.
Well, and it also differentiates in your own brain and for people around you, not that they necessarily, like I felt always quite safe on set and things like that. But to kind of say like, this is not me. I am not my character. I'm a different human being who has different boundaries and da-da-da. Like those little moments are important and they do translate. But yeah, what I think is so cool about your character, it's like, you were always this like, ooh, Bonnie McMurray, and like everyone's like trying to date you and stuff. But it never became like a caricature that you played into. You were always funny first.
Right.
Always. You always played the joke instead of playing like yourself, if that makes sense. And it was really impressive because I think a lot of people, especially at that young of age, would have kind of like lost the plot a little bit, and you just never did. So hats off to you. How did you get involved in Letterkenny? Like I know at Sudbury, was it just an open casting? Like how did that come to be?
So it was the acting studio that had opened up. The owner of that studio, Melissa Smith, who is now, she's moved on, she's casting, that's her whole kit and caboodle now, but she ended up doing just kind of that like local casting or just for those like other kind of recurring characters, whatnot. So I went in, I remember the audition so well. It was the ice scene, that first scene with Wayne. And I remember not like, you know, when you just a little doesn't come out clear. And I remember leaving and being like, fuck, Mom.
That was it. Yeah.
I ruined it.
Yeah. And it was short, it was quick, it was sweet, but it was fun. And I remember getting the booked email and I had a couple days. My mom had to come and be there.
Yeah. 16. Yeah. You have to have a parental guardian.
And I just remember seeing, for those of you that I did meet that first season, I think a lot it was second season, but I was just like, it's funny because you guys transformed into thinking I was cool. You guys were all cool. You guys were so cool. You were so cool. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, we're also like so much older than you. So it's kind of, it's hard to like, hard to see clearly.
I'm trying to imagine myself going on a set at 16. Like it would have been a fucking mess. Like
with a bunch of 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds.
That wouldn't have gone the way it went with you for you. Just like, just ran away. Like it's pretty amazing.
But it's, you know, when you think about it, like it's definitely a weird, cool thing to have happened. All those little things aligned and the dots connected.
Yeah. Do you remember the first scene you shot? Was it
the
just
ice scene, right? Where you're doing the same thing you auditioned? No.
Yeah, it was the ice. It was the ice.
You scanning? It's Wayne scanning the ice, and you going, "Hey, Wayne."
Yeah, me scanning like I don't charge them.
Yeah, you're like beep,
not working.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, and then
he's trying to scan it for you. He's like trying to reach over.
He's like, "Let's move this along." Good. Yeah.
Second thing, and then the only other thing I remember being so fresh was the St. Perfect's Day. That was the other day where I just come in and I'm like, hi, I want my dance.
Oh, yes.
I remember like coming to set. I remember sitting because those days we were just starting out. I was in my holding area.
Holding area, not a trailer.
No,
it's not a trailer.
Holding zone. Yeah. It's like a little fence that they put Kamilla in. She just bounced around.
The animal
eating
behind
hay.
it. Like fence.
Yeah.
Don't feed her. And
do not feed her. She'll bite.
Yes. And waiting and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can say these 4 words.
Yeah.
How are they going to come out of my
when you
mouth?
have very few words to say, you lose your fucking mind. It's so much harder.
It is.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess up.
Yeah.
Like, yes,
And you
sir.
put like weird inflections on
Yes,
weird
sir.
words. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
sir.
I do want the coffee. Oh, damn
I
it.
do want the coffee. Oh, God. Do you remember meeting like Dan Petronevich and Melanie that day? Like, did you have a relationship with your, like, I guess, brother and sister-in-law in that show
I
ever?
remember meeting Dan. I don't think I
Yeah.
had met Mel yet.
Okay.
But I remember meeting him and thinking he was just very unpredictable. I was like, ooh.
That's the perfect word to describe
Say.
Miss Dan Petronevich is unpredictable.
He's
Yeah.
so unpredictable, but in a very magnetic way. You really want to know what he's going to say next.
It's going to be any fucking thing. You have no clue.
Yeah, and it felt very natural. It started with a big bark. Hi, how's it going? And then we fell in quite naturally. And then I think I don't remember when I had first like person to person met Mel, but I remember the first time I watched she and Dan as Mr.
Lord.
or as McMurray and Mrs. And yeah, I was like, and of course I had already was privy to her. We all love her to begin with, but I was like, wow.
They are
like,
on one.
Yeah, do you think it's weird that like your character exists in a different universe than theirs? Like your sibling, you're the same, but like you are so level
it doesn't make sense.
and normal, and they're fucking unhinged. Like they're in the Gale.
I
world.
understand it. We
do?
all
Okay.
have different childhoods, and we all have different parents. So
True. And there's a huge age gap. So you
Huge
would have
age
had
gap.
very different experiences. Yeah.
and apparently, do you guys remember I have a little brother or something? I mentioned one time.
No.
I can't remember if it was a cold open, but it was a scene I did with hockey, and we were talking, and yes, and I said something like, "Oh, my little brother's gone." It's something about his billet family, and it just like came in, and then it went as fast as it came.
Whoa, that's so weird.
We don't like extended family on Letterkenny.
No.
It's like so not. Every time there's like an inch of like, oh, and even Uncle Eddie was kind of like, shush, pretty quick.
He doesn't exist anymore now.
Yeah.
He's
He
there
died.
for the episode.
But-
He's gone.
Yeah, we got over
we don't like family.
Interesting.
That's so interesting.
Little brother. Who do you think would have played your little brother? Do we have a dream casting? You can cast anyone in the world. Any boy from Stranger Things, I assume, because that's the only boys we know.
It's the only boys we know.
What famous young people younger than you would you have cast as your little brother?
No, can we completely like throw that like at 86 this concept, and it can be like John Cena. It has to be somebody outrageous.
Whoever
Okay.
you want.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can do whoever.
correct.
John Cena's pretty good.
It's got to be outrageous. Somebody
John
that
Cena's a
doesn't
great
make
choice.
sense. John Cena. I think it has to be somebody
You guys look
like
alike.
The Rock.
someone that makes absolutely zero sense to have came from the same.
Right.
Yeah.
The same area.
This is like, okay, a bit of a aside, but it just popped into my head. I watched Friendship last night with Paul Rudd and
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
guys,
Tim Robbins?
Tim
Is that it? Yeah.
Robinson. It's
Robinson.
so funny. You have to see it. But he has this little moment where there's this like little boy dressed as like a kind of like old timey, and he's like says that he's dressed like a doll. He's like, "Why are you dressed like a doll?" And it just makes me think, I want your little brother to be played by either John Cena or The Rock, and I want him to be dressed as
Like
little
a little
doll
boy. Like he's wearing like lederhosen.
with a tiny cap,
Yes, like Little
That's
Miss
what I want.
Muffet.
like a
This is
muffin.
a weird
Yay.
segment. You
Yes.
just came off of a project, didn't you?
Yeah, so I was in Ottawa. I went to Ottawa and I filmed
Glam.
a Lifetime movie.
Hell yes.
Yeah, so and
That's
I've done
fun.
a couple other things down the pipe that I don't remember.
We're not allowed to
Nice.
talk about it.
That's what's up.
I know one that you're not allowed to talk about.
What I was gonna say, but I assume yes.
Is it the new John Cena vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she plays his older
his older
sister
sister.
because
Okay.
this is Hollywood. For the fans that don't know, you come from like a hockey family in like a pretty deep way, similarly to Dylan, but I would say potentially more so.
Yeah, so a lot of
Dylan's
the
gonna
little
hate that.
clips and mentions of hockey with Bonnie in the show were intentional. Jared would do that because my cousin plays for the Leafs, John Ferris. So
Whoa.
there was definitely, I think I lost a bet. Bonnie lost a bet saying he'd have a slow start with the Leafs one season after he came in. And then there was a cold open that we did with the boys as well. That was all hockey names. That was really fun. Wow. But yeah, so hockey's always been ingrained part of me.
But do you like hockey? Like,
I do.
Okay, so during this past couple months, like you were going to bars or you were like celebrating with people, you were watching games?
I was very invested, yes. But I would say that my investment is not the type that can be socialized in the bar.
You need to be a solo.
I mean, well, not necessarily solo.
Like you really care.
Well, I want to be dialed in.
Oh, no. Oh, God. So you're like, I literally only go to these events to drink. And I'm there and I'm like, yes, go team. Like, I am such a bandwagon. You would fucking hate me. I'm at the bar.
I don't let it dictate my emotions.
Good. Okay. This is good to hear.
You don't?
Yeah.
No.
You don't
like
have
in
a
the
bad
moment
night
you do. In the moment you do.
In the moment I do, but it's because I care. There's a personal investment. I want, my cousin to have a great game and his team. I want everyone to have fun,
Totally.
And that's not happening at the bar.
Fun,
nobody's having
safe.
fun at the bar.
Yeah.
Have fun, be safe.
They're all in these cute matching outfits. They
Adorable.
Get mad and then they hug it out after.
That's nice.
And it's child stuff. Like it's baby. Sports are so baby to me and I love it. Like I think it's fun, but it's like, sorry, you're playing like a game, like a little baby, and that's fine. And we should all just acknowledge but it's not life or death. I totally agree.
Yes, but it is so fun and
totally fun.
It's cool to be immersed in. I have a little bit of tea that I can it's lukewarm. I'll spill a little bit, but I'll wipe it up right after.
Okay, great.
There is something else that I worked on with another face from Letterkenny that people will recognize. And yes, it was a project. It's a film that we shot last year. And that's all I'll say.
Man,
but
now I'm just gonna try and guess who it is. There's
so
many people
guys, but I can't tell the general.
So many people in it love the show. Who is it? Who would tell us just now, and we'll bleep it out.
Like Patrick McNeil Plywood.
Oh, really?
Guys.
Who's that?
Like the Skid.
Oh,
Babe Skid.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, he played my husband. Back nudity. And I didn't know it was going to be him. I didn't know it was going to be
Sorry.
In what?
You guys were nude together?
Back nudity.
Butt nudity, you mean? Oh my God. I'm like, spell it out for me. I don't understand.
What?
For Getaway, Jason Biggs, directorial.
Oh my God, that thing. I liked that script.
Yeah,
it.
It was
It
so
takes
fun.
her to the woods in the cabin. Yeah, that was funny.
He called me and was like, please do this. We loved your tape. Made me feel really safe about it all. And of course, it was super fun.
Yeah.
But
who'd you play in it?
I'm a hippie wife that
he's
my husband. So
wow.
Yes,
That's so fun.
I showed up on set and was like, you, me, you,
this fucking guy.
Let's go.
And he's such a goofy, lighthearted person to see. He's no negative energy in that guy.
Just like a beam of sunshine all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
You know what, actually, that's it's always weird when you know somebody in those situations previously, but that's kind of best case scenario.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
In a lot of ways. I'm like, actually, that's
he expects nothing from you and you can give him as much as you want and he's happy to have it. He's
couldn't be
a
safer.
Simple,
and Alex
lovely person.
was the first on it. Alex Champagne was the first on it.
Oh, no way. Okay, so it's just basically working on Letterkenny.
Wow.
So
how's Jason Biggs? Cool guy? All right.
Really cool guy.
Okay,
really chill guy.
Are we allowed to keep all that in? I'm just thinking for Connor Nightmare.
Yeah, sorry. First of all, Connor, fuck off. Second, no, we'll just cut off. We'll start off. We'll cut this entire part out.
The thing is if it's on IMDb, that's on IMDb.
Oh, it's already been.
It doesn't say who we're playing or what the actual context is, the project is up. I'm on there. He's on there. So people want to put two and two together.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
I think you're fine. Okay, so Connor, you don't have to deal with all that. All right.
Yeah, sorry for saying fuck off, Connor. It's called Getaway. I found it right here. Yeah, it's on IMDb, and you're all listed.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Exactly. Oh, this is exciting. So when does this come out?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I just show up. I work.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. You're kind of like, you do it. Do you feel this way about projects? Like you'll go, you do this, and then it's almost as if you have amnesia.
It never happened.
It never happened.
Yeah.
It's gone. Same
and then
with
one day
auditions.
you get a call and it's like, by the way, you were really good in that. And you're like, what? It's out?
What? That's actually never happened to me, but that sounds really great.
The only time
That sounds really cool.
I will like conjure back the things that I have to say. I can't even remember them when I have to say them, but I'll remember them.
That's not true, you guys. Hire Kamilla. She's very good at remembering her lines. She's just doing a bit.
I'm acting right now.
She's acting right now.
And she's nailing the performance.
When I was doing this movie in Ottawa last month, in between setups, do you want to know what came in my head?
Yes.
Peoples, persons, peasants, pheasants. We proudly present a palate-pleasing potion for pals parched proper. Pert near the whole population will be piling up to partake promptly.
Whoa.
Perfect. I was shooting.
I think that's like trauma. Like
Also, the way you said it was like a lullaby. I just got lulled.
Yeah, can we get that as a ringtone? Or like
That
that's the
was
intro to
cool.
the episode. Maybe we just have that as the intro to the episode and then we cut into the episode.
Persons, peasants. Is this ASMR now?
Yeah.
We'll send you a really fancy mic to get some serious ASMR.
I know. I feel like I'm missing out without having a mic.
Yeah, we'll get you one of these.
Yeah, we will. Next time we'll be in person if we play our cards right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that is taking up a piece of your brain. Do you ever think about that? So where you're like, wow, really, I've made real estate for that.
And a lot of little quips that I really didn't think would stick from the show.
No. Nor do you need.
That I never said nor need. Like, I will say, like, how are we gonna fuck this pig?
I say that a lot too.
That's in there.
I say that a lot too.
No, it is so ingrained in me.
And it's so crap.
No, people don't like it when I say
it. No.
And it's not even like that common of a phrase because
No,
people
think
don't
Nate
generally
said
know
it.
it.
Nate said it once, and I was like, okay, it's there.
Mine.
How are we gonna fuck this pig? I say it all the time in the least appropriate settings.
Like
it'll
a
be
business meeting.
dude, I'm going to like my family event after this. Like last time, there was like a cake that came out, and there was no knife, and I was like, "How are we gonna fuck this pig?" And it was like children everywhere. I was like, just
Everyone goes, Evan.
oops. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, that's
So I understand.
that's a bad one. I mean, oh God. I think I did have like a moment when I was sort of early days of Letterkenny where I was explaining the show to my rather proper father. I was explaining the characters and I was like, okay, so we've got the Hicks and they're this and da da da. And then I went and then we have the hockey players and they're like a couple of nutsacks. And my dad was like, okay.
I'm sorry.
like he's
good heavens.
and I was like
Robin Michelle.
But it's like when I just got off a set of Letterkenny, I'm swearing nonstop. Did you find that? Like it takes a minute to kind of get out
Did you
of
get
that.
grounded because you're 16?
No, I have never been grounded. My parents are cool.
Good
and
kids.
Evan, you should know that my parents love Tyler and Evan based off of one interaction where they complimented them. I don't even remember what they said. Something about them looking young, maybe.
Oh, they're definitely young.
and it changed everything, but they haven't had the chance. Like if they're only your
I want to hang out with your parents. When are they coming to Toronto?
because you compliment them all the time.
Let's hang out.
That's really cute.
That's so cute.
Just because I want to get into maybe I have a couple things on the agenda that I'd like to hit, but
I didn't know we had an agenda today. Oh.
just kind of to wrap up the Letterkenny portion of it. We'll have you back again because we have so much more to go over. But when you look back on your work on the show and your experience doing the show, is there like a scene or a moment that really sticks out to you as like, I don't know, something that you feel like lucky to have gone through or made you a better actor or something like that, or like just like a takeaway that you think about sometimes?
I think I as much as I want to say a specific scene or like day of shooting something that I remember, I want to say really just on a macro scale, the way that we all interdependently work together and at least being part of that, like beyond cast, but like with crew and just being able to absorb and see like things being done in a very intentional, like authentic way to make things like funny or to bring things in a way that really just just in a pure way.
Super collaborative. Totally.
And to be able to become part of that machine was so cool. And my first post Letterkenny work experience, like obviously you guys have talked about so much, the insane amount of pages we would go through in a day.
Yeah.
The first project I did after was Priscilla for Sofia Coppola. And
yeah, I did the background voiceover for that. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my, I haven't seen it.
When I got the, I think it's on Prime now, but when I got the call sheet, you guys, 2 pages for one day.
For a whole 16-hour day.
I looked and I was like,
Yeah.
Where are the
You
rest?
look so cool though in that. Like you got that like 50s whatever look
It
with
was
the do
really,
and everything.
really,
It's a
really
lot of work to put you in that outfit, I imagine. That probably took 4
Yes.
hours alone. Like,
and the wigging of it all, and it was very cool. But
Do you have a picture of it? I want to see. I need to see.
I'll have to find one.
Yeah, send it to me later. Yeah.
But I think it was just, look, in hindsight, you know, with every project, you know, you'll never have that again. Or just, I think
Yeah.
it was that lightning strike of the time of it in, you know, my life and where it was and what it became, that all allows me to look back and be like, that was so cool. Like we did.
Yeah.
it's so true. Like that you'll never
Yeah.
have that again thing is so much more extreme when you look at it like a show like Letterkenny, because you're like, it happened for so long for us. And it was so, you know, it was such a jumping off point
Time
for so
of
many
what
people.
it was and what it became, right? Like even if, you know, and as much as it's so cool that people still think we're funny and still like us, even though we don't do it. But, you know,
Compliments
that
about
idea that
Letterkenny
people
every day of my life. I have not worked on that show in forever.
But, you know, that like, even if we did all come to, like, that was its own insular special thing that just kind of exploded.
Yeah.
So I think that in itself, being able to grow on it, like from 16, like graduate schools and
That's wild.
chapters of my life, like that is.
I just
what
can't
mean.
imagine. I was so different between 17 and 23, 23 to 25, 25 to 27. Like those are different Evans. I can't imagine. You went through all of that.
Well, that's why I don't know what you guys got. I don't know if I was like maybe moody one year.
No, never.
Oh, that movie, Kamilla.
Post breakup, blah.
Dude, I want to ask
But we
you questions
all
about
had one of
dating.
those.
Yeah.
We
Oh
all
my
had
God.
one of those.
Did
I had
That's
3.
true. Michelle had 3 a year. No, you did have a couple big ones.
I had 3. I had 3 blocks.
Did working on Letterkenny or has working on Letterkenny affected your dating life at all?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, are people like, ooh, Bunny McMary on like Hinge or Raya?
Because I
And you're
used
like,
to date, now I don't.
oh, you're done dating.
Oh, yeah.
Over it.
Segue. Are you like, are you dating?
Celibate.
Are you on the apps? Like, can you do that? Are you on Raya?
I am on Raya.
Remember when
dating
you almost
DJs?
signed me up for Raya?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Do you remember?
That was, yeah, you were referred, you were in, and then he found.
And then I met somebody and I was
I
like,
got
oh,
referred to Raya by another Letterkenny actor,
say the name.
Jacob Tierney.
Okay, cool.
You also don't need it because you're like married, not
Yeah,
like
I don't. I'm
literally
not
married.
anymore. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't while he was
Back
with
in the
Lena,
day, I
to
wanted
be
to
clear.
date DJs. Okay, I never went on a single date from Raya. Not even one.
So I
tough.
am single. I'm on the apps. Apps is in singular, as in Raya.
Okay.
I've tried dating. I say that like I'll go on a date or two.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm not a huge dater generally.
You're
What are you
out of a
looking for in a partner?
relationship.
What do you want? What's your
Girl,
dream?
maybe.
Do you want a partner even?
Yeah, eventually. I just don't like to be touched.
Okay, fair
And I
enough.
Don't like voices in the morning. And
A quiet, hands to themselves. Sounds like a
yeah,
librarian maybe would be good.
I don't know. You know, I think my problem is, and if we're going to talk, like, go back to, like, the hockey of it all. I mean,
hockey
that
boys are very particular.
when I was younger, you guys know that. And
I remember.
I try to outgrow. And I think, now that I've, moved, I'm settling into myself more as, a new Torontonian, as a new young adult. I'm trying to, I'm casually.
You're trying not to date hockey players.
Yes.
That's pretty much the summary.
That's the summary.
No more hockey players.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's just like something cool about,
Tennis players. Yes. Golfers.
Okay.
Golf is sweet.
You don't have to be an athlete.
If anything, you'd prefer them to not.
We're going to quote you on that. We're going to clip that. They don't have to be an athlete. I'd prefer it if they were, but they don't have to.
Would you be okay dating someone who you could beat up?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Physically in a fight, like you could beat them up.
Yeah, but like I don't want to think about physically.
What do you mean no? You could beat the shit out of Connor, Michelle.
No, I couldn't.
Yes, you could.
Connor's 6'1" and
you're an athlete.
I'm scrappy.
You would kick the shit if you really tried to beat the shit out of Connor. You could do it.
Well, because Connor would never fight back because that would be insane. Because he'd be like,
"Come on,
exactly.
now.
I'm not going to participate in this bullshit." Yeah.
And I will say, it's not always about the physicality because my neighbors, right over there, they love to fight, especially after they drink.
Oh no, and you hear it?
Last night, yes. But sometimes it's pretty juicy. Like doesn't seem ever to be very detrimental.
You're not like it's domestic. You're like it's kind of interesting. Like they're getting,
like
okay.
Yeah. So the things they say, like it's but sometimes Missy over there, she cuts Buddy deep.
Okay. Like what? Give us one zinger.
What if you say?
Like she'll really emasculate him. Like he'll say, like, well, I didn't come out because you told me to stay home. And she's like, yeah, as you should. And like really, and then just a little colorful, like emasculating. Yeah, but they both seem like, I don't know.
I'm picturing you with the glass like to the wall, like you're like really listening, or are you trying not? Okay. So you're not like putting on the headphones.
Live in a building with hundreds of other people, and if you don't want me to know what's going on, be quiet.
Don't live in this building.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's part of the culture. It's part of the condo culture.
Downtown Toronto's wild. I remember I was staying at somebody's place, and I just looked out the window. I was like, I can see like 2 different people having sex in 2 different apartments right now. It's just like, have you never seen that? It's just hundreds of windows and they're just all open and everyone's just.
I have I'm like facing the courtyard, but I have a wall here. Like it doesn't block my view, but it blocks everyone else from viewing me.
Oh, this is perfect. That's what you need.
It is one of those things where, like if you can see the audience can see you. But I have taken it further. I've gone down into my courtyard to look up to my unit.
No, you're safe.
Oh yeah, reflections, light. It's
sometimes the window quality also does it. Yeah, like in my windows, you can't see in during the day. At night, it's like a fishbowl. So I just have to be aware.
Yeah,
just at night.
Keep your pants on and
right. Also, I will before we get into our Spare Hearts segment, I will say that seeing a strange couple in a window having sex is truly one of the most revolting things I have ever, where I'm like, what? Humans are disgusting. Really?
I'm always like, oh, good for them. They're having a great
animal.
time.
I'm like,
it's primal.
I don't want to see how primal it is, because in your head, when you're in an intimate setting, you're obviously,
you look good.
Yeah, it's like, it's the romance, it's all of it. When you actually see it and it's not performative, it's just 2 people doing the thing.
I think it is performative though, if they're doing it next to the window.
It's not cute.
They must be wanting people to see a little bit.
Well, then they're not performing very well, because from what I've seen, it's just a lot of like off time.
Okay, so you guys just here out there, if you're going to be having sex in front of a window and you're going to be doing it publicly, make sure that you're appealing to your audience. Okay?
Yeah.
Add a little bit more acting.
Add a little flair. Yeah, a little joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre. Look at the camera a bit. Come back.
Make sure you find your light.
Yeah, find your light. Oh my God, bad light.
Set up a ring light, something.
A ring light.
Something.
That is intimate.
Because some of the things I'm seeing, I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. Okay. Will you answer? So we do the segment called Spare Hearts, where we answer, yeah. Are you ready to give some people some advice? And I chose a question that I feel like is kind of more your demographic. So I feel like you'll be really helpful to this person.
What's my demographic?
Yeah, what's her demographic?
Like early to mid 20s.
Yeah, like zillennial.
No, like Gen Zs.
I'm Gen. culturally a millennial. Okay, I know.
No, you don't want to be a millennial, babe. We're the worst. We have signs that say live, laugh, love.
A gigapet growing up. You can't be a millennial.
Yeah, you don't have a Tamagotchi, you don't know what's up.
You did?
Yes. And
How is that possible?
Because your parents had a Tamagotchi because your parents are millennials?
I came down from, no, but they're going to love that you said that, Evan.
God, you're such a kiss ass. Holy.
They are, though. Have you ever met them? They're like hot young people. I don't know.
I had a Tamagotchi. I had my hand-me-down Spice Mice sweaters from my cousins. Like, I really feel like I am a millennial. I know I'm not.
No, you're not. Do you kind of like lean into like you're like comfortable with kind of millennial cringe? I feel like okay, yeah.
What does that even mean?
Millennials are.
What's
so here's the thing:
cringe?
millennials
Like,
are cringe, and then there's like a Gen Z sort of thing where I'm seeing like cringe will set you free, but at the same time, millennial cringe really needs to be like assessed. So the pausing, the signs, the kind of like, hey guys, like it's like that,
dude. Oh, I have a couple people. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean now. Like the dog, like saying doggo.
Exactly. Or again, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but it really sticks to my brain where it's like pizza is my spirit animal. Like I'm really kind of a bit weird.
That one really
like
fucks you up. You hate when
I hate that so much. Yes. Yeah.
Or like bacon is your whole personality or whatever is like a guy.
Yeah. You have like, or all of your glassware is like the mason jars and shit like that. Like all that bullshit.
Mason jars.
You're going to need to smash them because it's aging the fuck out of you. Okay.
Sorry.
So let's do a spare hearts. I'm really excited about this one. Okay.
Spare hearts.
Spare hearts. Hi, spare parts. Call me ... Naomi. Cool choice. 23, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've been single forever and just having fun going out. In Florida, my generation is still going clubbing. Don't worry, guys.
Single forever. She's been alive a week. Okay,
a week and a half.
She's 23. You haven't been single forever. You're a baby.
Don't be judgmental yet.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Time is slower when you're 23.
I know. When I was 23, I was alive forever too.
Yeah, you're like, I'm old as fuck. Okay, working on getting my esthetician's license, chilling with friends, etc. I go on dates, but the last couple of years, it's just been situationships. A couple of months ago, I matched with this guy and we've been hanging out a lot and it feels different. He's actually cool, takes me out on nice dinner dates, and I could see it going somewhere more seriously. My problem is his social media. Here we go. He follows
Joe Rogan.
I'm gonna
just say it.
Verbatim what she's writing. Yeah. He follows all the thoughts and is always liking and sometimes even commenting under their bikini pics that are a bit, she says the slut word, but she's allowed because she's a woman. Let's retake that word. Plus, he goes for coffee with an ex all the time. And I'm like, for what purpose? And I just don't like that shit. Am I creating a problem just to have a problem? Or are these things actually red flags? Need older brother, sister advice and pitter patter on it, please. Great question.
Do you have any initial instincts on this, Kamilla?
Yeah.
I do. I would like to preface everything in saying that, like, I'm not saying anything I say is right.
Of course not.
Yeah, you're such
an
a lawyer.
Actor. What do we know?
You cannot take any of this as legal advice, however.
Yeah, don't sue.
I would say, I mean, it's not creating a problem. Everyone just has different likes and dislikes, different things that they will tolerate and not tolerate. I do think that we can take some weight off because the frontal lobe, and I'm not really one to talk. I'm only 26, but her frontal lobe is not even developed yet.
It's not even developed.
You know, like there's so much time to find this. And has she asked him about it? Has she talked about it? Is this something we bring up? Is that something you bring up?
You're totally right though.
Well, I think it's kind of my vibe from this whole question is her going, I'm assessing this person to see if I would like to pursue, because I'm of the mindset of you don't want to force or ask to change. You kind of do want to observe somebody in their natural state and be like, am I up for this? Like, because people don't really change all that much. Like, yes, people grow and develop, but I understand what she's saying. It's like, do I really want to like get out of the fun game and commit to a person that I'm already seeing these signs that I personally don't like? Like, I wouldn't like that shit.
But I will say, I think there is something we need to understand about this younger generation, like the 20s, early 20s boys. They've been on Instagram their whole lives. Mm-hmm. They don't think it's weird to follow all the thoughts.
All the thoughts.
Do you know what I mean? Like they in their mind are like, this is what you do. This is how you get a girlfriend. You DM people. You did it. Like they think this is the normal route to acquire a girlfriend in the first place. So I think that their whole like the way that they've been socialized, it's pretty detrimental. I don't think this is good. I'm not like, great progression in society. I just think like we have to be a little forgiving of certain, especially of men being brainwashed by social media into becoming tiny little monsters. And saying things
because Ev, boys will be boys, right?
That's the thing is like they're like I bet all their boyfriends are going like oh she's so hot like and like sending messages and like this is how you do it. Like when I was a kid, we used to call up our girlfriends when we were in like grade 8 and I'd be like, hey girl, like want to chat on the phone? Like that was the version of that. Like if you knew I was out there doing that, you'd be like, oh, Evan is such a little sneak. Like he's out there calling girls. He's trying to like have conversations. This is the equivalent of that.
I see what you're saying.
It's broken. It's not good.
Well, but it's also, it's young.
Change.
It's a young mind. It's a young behavior.
This doesn't define this guy though. I'm just saying, it's a stupid fucking thing he's doing.
We also assume that he's her age. She didn't say how old he is.
Ooh, if this is an adult man, like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, if this is a man, I would say 26 and over.
I assume he's 23 as well. I just assume whenever
we're making the assumption that he's also 23. She didn't specify, so I would have assumed that she would have said.
Okay, so Kamilla, imagine a world where you're going picture this. You're about to go on a date with a guy, and you're with him, and you're like, "This is such a nice date. I'm having such a nice time." And then you're like, "Wait, something just flashed in my mind. What is that?" You go back through his social media, and he's commented on your photos a bunch through time, being like, "She's so hot."
Ooh, Bonnie McMurray.
Hey, ooh, Bonnie McMurray. Yeah. What would that do to you?
So many
Call
things.
The cops.
Yeah.
You think it's like a stalker situation?
A special drink from the bartender that makes them like bring me out the back door.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. Immediately red flag. Okay.
1,000%.
So if you have any interest in Kamilla Kowal, do not comment on her fucking photos.
Keep it cool, guys.
Keep it cool. Be a normal guy.
Going back to Naomi's, this is what I think is a bit, and it's ick to follow all of these. But again, people are different with social media. How do we know that when you're growing up with it and that's your whole world for this guy? But it's the commenting on the random.
I want to know the comments.
Why are
I'd
we
love to know what
fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji.
And why?
Yeah, and why? Okay, I
what
think
if he's just uplifting women who are posting photos and he's trying to be supportive?
No, he's
like,
not.
You are always so blue sky about stuff. I'm just like, for me, it's not that I think that this person is inherently bad for participating. Yeah. You just look like a fucking idiot. It's just like, it's so embarrassing to me. Fuck. And I think like the ex stuff, I don't love that either, but I need more context. Like, are they old friends? Like, there are some exes in my life where I don't think we'd be having ever consistent coffees, but I might go for a coffee with like an ex from another time period and it'd be totally fine. Like, no, it's just about how that relationship looks and like how honest you are about it.
Yeah. It sounds like this is a new thing too.
There's definitely a layer of perhaps I'm like really, really in his corner right now. I'm like, this is emotionally mature. I mean, if you're, maintaining a friendship with an ex, but again, why?
Right. For what purpose is what she said.
There's a lot of people out there, a lot of friendships.
Purpose.
For what purpose? I'm curious to know how long she and this guy have been like seeing each other, and whether or not it's like exclusive or whether or not there's
she
any
said a couple
conversations.
months.
Couple months?
So
Okay.
it's so early to
But it's
like
getting to there. A couple months is like you're getting to the conversations.
agreed,
right?
especially if
They're
it's
in Florida. They're in Florida.
Oh, which changes everything. 1 week in Florida is like 12 months everywhere.
I think of like Florida. I think it's like Love Island, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah,
everyone's in a
no
bikini
one's
at all
together.
times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's early days, but I also understand the instinct to be like, I'm seeing some things that I'm like not necessarily sure I'm up for the challenge of trying to like, okay, I'm going to simplify and I want to ask you directly, Kamilla, do you believe in the sentiment, if he wanted to, he would?
Absolutely.
So do I. And I know that's
Tell
a
me
little
more
bit
about the sentiment, though. Tell me more about this.
Okay, it's a bit of a like, it's obviously such a black and white way of thinking, and it puts a lot of pressure on like men to be the ones to like instigate fully, and I don't fully believe in that. But I do think it applies to all people, not just men. If you're actually interested in somebody in a serious way, there are behaviors, things you say that should just be present. And if they're not, that kind of tells you a lot. Like, I've just never been in a situation with a man, because I date men, where they have acted a bit aloof and they weren't actually aloof.
Right.
It's like people show you who they are. And when they show you, you should believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game playing is very passe.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And I do think it's a general kind of sentiment, and it applies beyond dating. It goes to anything. And of course, you know, like life happens, there's situations, but it's just a priority thing in what you want to do or want to show, right? Mm-hmm. So with all of this in mind as well, like why, especially at this age, you have the rest of your life to kind of, if you wanted to, deal with tolerating things or, you know, swallowing something. So why bother now?
Why now,
It's
babe?
so true. No, it's true. And
Yeah.
you guys are thinking, just to clarify for the audience out there, of the general conceit of if he wanted to, he would. It's like what you were saying, Kamilla, like sometimes people send a text like, oh, sorry, I didn't get back to you right now. I got like a bunch of stuff going on, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not really an excuse. It's just like someone coming up with something to say. Like, if they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. They're like, hey, I'm so glad to talk to you right now. It's really nice to chat. Like, I've been going through some shit. And it's really
and there are moments.
like, there's ways to say things
circumstances.
Totally.
but giving excuses and making up like all these kinds of like all the
in a pattern,
in a pattern way.
It's the showing up for people in certain ways. And you know what? Maybe, again, because people are so different, everybody's different. Our realities are different. Maybe the ways that Naomi needs or wants this guy to show up is just not something he is privy to or has any...
Or ready for.
Yeah. And so maybe they're just literally on parallel waves, right?
Yeah. I say, Naomi, just keep it light and keep dating. You don't have to, like, you're 23 years old. Oh my God, don't commit. Like, just...
Maybe don't marry this one.
No, like, just date. Just keep dating. Maybe he will kind of click in a different way and it'll make sense for you guys to like lock it down, so to speak. But for right now, if that's like what he's up to, he's probably signaling that he's still kind of like also wanting to be out there, which he's allowed to do.
He's keeping his options open.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I would just do your own thing and trust your gut. And like, and if it's hurting your feelings too, like, I'm so the girl that gets her feelings hurt with shit like this. So like, I just can't do it. I cannot be with men that act that way. I'm not strong enough.
Is it only men who act that way publicly or men who act that way privately?
Oh, in general. Can I share a story with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually told Connor this morning, like, and you both know the boyfriend. So I'll tell you after. We'll bleep it. Oh God. Okay. So I was dating this guy who really likes working out. Great. Whatever. I don't really. I like doing dance and yoga, but I'm not like lifting weights and sculpting my body. Like, I don't really give a shit. Mm-hmm. He one time was like, hey, like, come here for a sec. And he brings up this girl on Instagram. He goes, you have a really similar body type to her. And if you worked out more, you'd have this type of like glute shape. Like, you could do this if you wanted to. Like, you could have her body if you just like worked hard in the gym. And I dated this man for 6 more months after that.
pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
Kamilla is white as a ghost.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Isn't
What do you
that
think? What do you think you were gonna? Do you think you were gonna go? You're right, honey. Let's go to the gym.
Let's go
to the
do
gym
some
and
squats.
build you that perfect butt you want. Like, what the fuck does he think? This is like, what is this? Like, that's such a. Yeah, that's a really broken way of thinking.
That is vile.
Isn't that fucking vile? And I also like. And I wasn't that young. I was like 26. Not that, and 26 is young, but I just mean I wasn't, my cortex was developed. So like,
you knew what was going on.
It took me a minute to learn that like for me, stuff like that obviously is unacceptable.
No, it's like those tiny little manipulation things.
Totally.
That guys try and do. Like women do it too.
Well, and
like,
yeah, people do.
They'll say something about like, you know, something you're eating, or they'll talk about something that, you know what I mean? Like there's little things that people, the way you dress, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I really love it when you wear those da-da-da. Like that's particularly important to me when you.
It's really important to me when you wear those shorts. Or it's like these liking other girls' photos very publicly. It's signaling, something. I like this, do more of this, be more of this. And I do feel like that is inherently kind of cruel. And we're all like attracted to other people. We can go, wow, what a good looking person over there. But you don't need to shove it down your partner's throat. And I know he's not your partner, Naomi, but like if somebody's acting that way, I do think it is a red flag because it's just a bit like icky. It's not as gross as what my ex said, but let this be a lesson to all the youngins listening. Don't deal with that shit. It's so lame.
Also, don't do that shit. Don't say that shit to your partner.
Totally.
That's up to you to not try and manipulate your partner into some world of what you perceive to be perfection. You're not right.
No.
Chill out.
Chill out.
Focus on your own shit.
And I think there are definitely, for every person out there that likes to give free follows to all the thoughts and the this and the that, there are still people out there that are young that don't, and that maybe don't use social media as much, or, you know, maybe there are other avenues or ways that Naomi can try and meet somebody if that is the mode that she's in, someone with a like-minded outlook.
I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
So this was a great answer. By the way. Did you ever think about deleting your social media entirely? Like, have you guys ever done that in your minds?
I think about it all the time.
You do? Okay.
I would love to, but we're in the weird space where like sometimes followers matter when you're trying to get a job.
I know.
Which sucks, but that's just kind of like what we're dealing with. Yeah,
I think it's a luxury to not need to participate online. Like
if you're famous enough that you don't need it.
Yeah, like
great.
Absolutely. I'm similar. I think about it too, but it is also, not only is it like important for casting directors, which is so unfortunate. And I wonder if that's going to change. I think there's a bit of a shift happening because fame and numbers are so misleading now because it's accessible for so many people in a different way. It's not like a true barometer on getting people to the box office, so to speak, or like
movie star.
Yeah, like it isn't really one-to-one, but like for business, different business opportunities, like marketing opportunities, I think it's also sort of nice for me in a way. And I don't know why I feel like I need to do this, but showing a real personality outside of the Letterkenny persona for me has felt important. It's feeling less and less important because I'm like, oh, like no one gives a shit, and nor do I anymore, and that's fine. But like, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, well,
part of that might also be the podcast, though. You're putting out so much of your personality so regularly in such an unfiltered way. Yeah, you're like, people either want to get to know me or they like, hey, real me's out there. That's how I feel about my social media presence. Is I'm like, there's so much of me out there at this point. If you want to misinterpret something I say, like that's on you.
Yeah, go off.
If you want to misinterpret my personality, like that's up to you.
Yeah, I think that was maybe something that developed, like we were talking about earlier, post show. Like that's something I think I've realized. Like my page isn't really a democracy. My life isn't a democracy.
Very well said.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Very well said.
There's something, so fantastic about you enjoying something that we do professionally, but at the end of the day, we all have to go home and like cook dinner.
Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna try and eavesdrop on my neighbors having a fight, and that's what I'm gonna do.
And that's it.
We're gonna present it
I'm going to take it. Okay, on this note, Kamilla, you are such a delight. I wish we could talk for hours and hours. I'm going to keep you on after we stop recording because I need to just catch up a little bit more. But we're going to have you back because there is just so much more to discuss. But just to kind of circle back to your work on the show and us getting to enjoy it now and also working with you, you're such a talented, special human being, and it was such an honor getting to work with you. Like, truly, we're just like constantly talking about how impressed we are with you as a human being as well as just a performer, and an intellect too. Like, you're such an impressive person, and we love you so much. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
any day of the week. I love you guys. So
Okay.
having me.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
I know, me
Okay,
too.
well,
we'll stop the
Yeah.
podcast so you can cry off camera.
okay.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you guys for listening, and
Thanks
we'll see
for
you next
listening,
week. Mwah.